Hey there, pro wrestling fans. It's your buddy Mike Messier. This is one pro wrestling fan, formerly known as Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. If you're a Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel archivist, you'll see that all the stuff is still here. And if you want to see new stuff, including Mike's instant movie reviews, head over to one Mike Messier YouTube channel. And my original films are on One Man in a Camera Films. Now let's talk Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania, and how I think this is going to go down. Now, a lot of people, and by the way, we're live here tonight on the Friday morning, East Coast time. So if you happen to be catching this live, feel free to chime in with your comments. If not, that's fine. So let's talk about this. What is happening here? I believe, is that they're making Cody look pretty good, very good. He's having these little mic battles with Paul Heyman and then Roman Reigns himself. And it's all leading to this WrestleMania confrontation, this match. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, both titles, Universal title, WWE, Bruno Belt, as I call it, the lineage title, the unified, universal, undestructible title. And they are kind of playing with the, ribbing on the square, as the boys say, making references to AEW, making references to Dusty Rhodes, making references to all types of good things. And some people are seeing this as a sign that there's going to be a changing of the guard. They're putting a lot into Cody. He won the Royal Rumble. He beat Seth Rollins a bunch of times before he took 8 or 9 months off because of the chest injury, the pectoral injury. He's having matches on Monday Night Raw that are pretty entertaining from what I understand. So why wouldn't they put the title on Cody Rhodes? Well, I think there's about a 10% chance they will, but I think there's a 90% chance that Cody Rhodes is going to eat the pin in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns, whether it's through hook or through crook, Usos or anybody else's interference, I think Roman Reigns walks out of there pinning Cody Rhodes and retaining. And this is the reason why. The WWE loves to prove their point. Several years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, Sting came into the WWE for the first time. Everyone was clamoring for Sting versus The Undertaker. They already kind of ruined that by having The Undertaker lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So they put Sting in there with Triple H at WrestleMania. Now, this Sting wrestler, who the WWE had courted for 25 years, they wanted him under contract for all those decades, TNA wrestling, WCW. Sting was never a WWE guy. They finally get him, and in his very first match, his very first WrestleMania, he takes the pin to Triple H after a Shawn Michaels super kick, nonetheless. That's the WWE's way of putting the final explanation point, the final burial, the final piss on the grave of WCW. Logically, if you're trying to build up Sting, you would have had him beat Triple H by submission to the Scorpion Deathlock, or at least, a pinfall to the Scorpion, that neckbreaker thing, Death Drop, the Scorpion Death Drop. But instead, Stinger eats the pin and Triple H goes over, right? Speaking of Triple H, CM Punk, Summer of Punk. Everybody, finger banged themselves about the Summer of Punk, I believe 2011. And somewhere in there, they had some pay-per-view where Triple H pins CM Punk in the middle of the ring. Was there any reason? Did it lead to something with Triple H getting the title and maybe CM Punk chasing Triple H for the title? No. It was just Triple H and Vince Jr. had to reassert their power and have Triple H go over. Even something like in-house, the Nexus, was it a 7-on-1 thing at a SummerSlam when it was like 7 guys against John Cena or something, and Cena went over the entire Nexus? My point is, some things are just so logical that you have to understand that WWE won't do them. If they want to make a point, and the point this time, make no mistake, actually going back, another example, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 18. The fans wanted Hogan to win, and he was the heel. He hit Rock with a hammer. but the fans still wanted Hulk Hogan to beat The Rock in Toronto. But they had The Rock win. The whole WCW, ECW invasion of 2001, the WWE guys just destroyed them. Or the WWF still, I think at the time, still destroyed the alliance. My point is, the WWE is very narcissistic and very. They don't like to have their brand or their company seem weak or even vulnerable. And the way they see things in their perverted mind, even though Cody Rhodes started with WWE, even though he's under contract with them now, he is an outsider for life. So they'll play this violin for Cody Rhodes to represent his father or to represent himself or whatever. But the reality is, to them, the decision makers, Cody needs to be made an example of. And so they can mention AEW without saying the name. They can mention he started his own company. They can mention he went away. But what they're doing that for is because they want the independent wrestling fan or the fan that watches all the wrestling, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever. They want that fan to realize that the WWE is the superior brand, in their opinion, not mine. So what they will do is they'll have their poster boy beat the indie poster boy. Cody Rhodes representing all things evil in the world of wrestling, according to the McIdiots in Titan Tower. He represents AEW. He represents independent thought. He represents non-WWE wrestling. And he must be sacrificed. He must be put on the altar and have nails put in his palms for the mighty Roman Reigns. Okay. And furthermore, I'm thinking they might be pushing Roman to beat Bruno's record. Yeah, I'm saying that now. I mean, it might sound outlandish, but I feel like they might have come to some type of Uber agreement with Roman Reigns at some point, probably before they even got the title, or at least beating Brock for both titles. They might have agreed to really push this Roman Reigns thing. And what better way in a wrestling world where it's hard to create stars and the WWE wants to have such control over people? What better way than to have a star like Roman Reigns that they can more or less control? And if he wants to do a movie once in a while, he can take a few weeks off for a movie. Movies don't take forever unless, it's a very intricate movie. But, for the most part, Roman could be on a set for 5 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, and still wrestle at least once a month, if that 30-day rule counts for anything. So I'm just predicting right here and right now that Roman Reigns is going to pin Cody Rhodes 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I'm not saying there won't be interference. I'm not saying Cody won't put up a great effort and have a good story, so to speak, in defeat. But I am saying I believe Cody gets pinned by Roman at WrestleMania. And I think all the fans that are wetting their pants with excitement and they're making little memes and they're quoting these guys and they're getting their proverbial dicks hard about this thing, they're in for a shocking surprise. If Drew McIntyre wasn't going to get that title at the Castle pay-per-view, if Sami Callihan, I'm sorry, God, Sami Callihan sucks. If Sami Zayn couldn't get the title in Montreal last month, why are we thinking that Cody will get it? At least Bruno, this is my buddy Lawrence Laza. At least Bruno, when he was champion in a more credible era with more credible contenders. So if Roman Reigns goes longer with his run than Bruno, it won't mean shit anyway. Well, that's to the intelligent fan, Laza, like yourselves, like me, like those watching us. But to the McIdiots, the idiot McMarks out there, in the view of the WWE, they don't know the difference. They don't know the fact that Bruno was wrestling in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Maryland and Madison Square Garden and working the whole Northeast and even halfway down the East Coast. They don't realize that. They just think in terms of the present tense. The most wrestling fans, Laza, besides yourself, besides me, they don't do their history. They don't do their homework. They eat the food that they are fed. They watch the A&E biographies. I laugh at those. They watch the WWE documentaries, and they believe hand over fist the perverted and misconstrued and misconstructed version of history that the WWE provides. So we're not talking about the intelligent fan base when we're talking about the vast majority of WWE fans. That's just the truth. So there you go, folks. I'm predicting Roman to beat Cody. You may agree, you may disagree, but that's just how I feel, and we'll see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will do a push-up. Okay, folks, have a good night. One pro wrestling fan, good night.